I am ready now.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
And what can we expect?
Surprises!
Engineered by Jay Timko and produced by Eric Beatty. And without further delay, it's showtime! Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
This is bullshit right here.
Hey, welcome to the Thursday edition of the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Big E is here as well. Timko is here. How you doing, buddy?
Very well. You?
Very well. Doing good, yeah. Yeah.
Got a big show, man.
We do have a big show.
A lot to cover.
Yeah, a lot to cover. We'll talk about the fat swimsuit model. Confessions of a rapist. I mean, as an admitted rapist, you know, I mean, since we declared drunk chicks, that's rape now.
This
serial.
This resonates with you.
Yeah, it does. I'm a serial rapist, it turns out. I had no idea. Who knew? But up until recently. So we'll get into that. Dating a bisexual? You in? Out?
No, I'm out.
It's better than dating a gay guy, right?
No, I'm out. I'm not dating a
Even if the guy likes a girl every now and then, I mean, you're not just going to reject him.
I'm not going to date any guy.
Calm down. It's just a simple question.
I will never, ever date a guy.
He's right in the middle of the cycle.
I know.
Bear with him, everybody.
So the shedding is going on.
Yeah, the uterine shedding.
Yeah.
Could have let that happen.
We'll talk about a dump that took place. I mean, it's a function of human behavior, right?
It happens. It's just a kind of an inopportune time and place.
Yes, nature calls when it calls, right?
Yeah.
Beanbag Cop. Remember my boy there?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Shot a 90-year-old man.
95.
95.
Get the facts right, counselor. 95-year-old man. He didn't make it. We had some disagreements about it. We've got an update on him. Brian Williams as well. Last time his name came up, his daughter was getting her ass eaten on camera.
You're right, yeah.
So we'll get into him. ISIS, some stuff there. We won't spend too much time on it, but some more news there. We'll get into the Hiltons. Not the one you'd normally think. But how could we not start with the plane crash?
Just incredible,
in
man.
Taiwan.
You watch that video, it's like out of a movie, man.
Totally it is. This is a Taiwanese trans-Asia. Can they have worse times right now in Asia with their flights?
Seriously.
I mean, between Malaysia Airs and I mean, it seems like every week there's another Asia airline that's going down. Well, this is a Transair turboprop plane carrying 58 passengers and crew slams into a bridge. It also slammed into a taxi. Did you see this, E?
I assume everybody's seen this video by now.
Yeah.
This is just amazing. But the fact that it was caught on 2 dash cams.
What is with the dash cams in all these cars in Asia?
I don't know.
Like the guy that ran over those people and move, you get out of the way. All of those things. What is that?
They do the same thing in Russia. I think it's because they have so many road rage incidents.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So they just have the cameras there just to catch all the road rage accidents that happen.
Which are really funny if you've seen videos of those.
Yeah.
Like people at a stop at a red light and some guy will come walking out like a pedestrian and throw himself on the hood and act like,
So they're doing it for their own protection then.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if that's true, but I have heard that same thing, which would make sense because it seems odd that all these people are, you know, in America the camera would be facing you because it's so important that we get perfect shots of us all the time, but these cams are facing outward and they're just kind of getting everything. We saw that missile that came in and somewhere in the Middle East.
Wasn't there a meteor too? Didn't we see a meteor come down?
Yeah, absolutely. That was in Russia. And this one, these guys, this couple who remained extremely calm, if you ask me. You know, I think you brought it up last time where it was like, if that was us, it'd be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, really.
You'd be flipping the fuck out. And these people are just like, oh, this is very sad. What happened there? You want to see the plane crash?
E, you haven't seen this, honest to God?
You know what? No, I didn't watch it today.
He was trying to lie. He was trying to act like he saw it.
He was too busy today.
Yeah. Check this out. Just cruising down the road. Here comes a plane.
Holy fuck.
It hit that taxi, dude. The wings sliced the taxi.
Holy shit, dude.
Here it comes in slow-mo.
That is like a That is absolutely like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances the taxi's by itself?
I know.
And there's a passenger in that car, too.
There's not another car within 100 yards of that
Look at
taxi or in front of it.
Is he trying to avert... Oh,
My God.
isn't that crazy? Goes on the water, and this is at like 10:50 in the morning local time. They, you know, I want to be careful, but I'm almost ready to declare this great news out of Taiwan.
Tell me why.
Well, here's my reasoning. It could have been much worse. There were 15 survivors of that crash. 15 people. This is unbelievably good news, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't seem like you're with me. The black box was found immediately. There's a mayday call. There's a lot of great
real
news
shallow
points.
water.
It could have hit a building. This could have been during rush hour.
No, you're right. There is a bright side to this for sure.
Yeah.
And the taxi driver survived and his passenger.
Both survived. Yep.
Hey, are you going to question his driving at all?
Why?
I don't know. I mean, do you think he could have braked a little harder and
Or
avoided it?
turned left into the wall and missed him completely?
Well, do you really think he saw that coming?
How could you not see that coming? I would
like-
think that
it's
you
like
could
one
see
of
that
those
coming.
deals
Where do
where-
his brake lights go on?
How do you not see that?
I know. It's like one of those
I
deals
don't
where you're
know,
walking
dude.
down a hall and somebody's coming toward you.
Yeah.
And you're going left, right,
Right,
left.
left,
I wonder
right,
if he did that. You know, speed up, slow down, speed up. So, oh, fuck! And it turned out just exactly
Did
perfect.
he hit his brakes at all?
I don't think so, man. If he did, it was very, very late.
Let's see.
It's not a very attentive driver.
Like right now, I'd be locking him up. Like holy
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
holy shit, holy shit. He didn't hit his brakes at all. He didn't even try. He didn't even
and
try
he's
to
a
avert
left
danger.
lane driver, that son of a bitch.
Yep.
Just cruising in the left.
So anyway, the taxi driver who was hit, he survived. Called him. They're calling him the luckiest man alive.
Or unlucky. I mean, you know, again.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one within 100 yards in front or behind.
Yeah.
I'd venture that he's unlucky.
He's the unluckiest man alive. He still is
I
alive.
mean, there's one point where that wing came down across that road, and he happened to be right there when it
Yeah.
happened.
Rather
Pretty
unlucky. The luckiest guy maybe would have won the lottery that day.
Yeah.
The unluckiest would have taken a wing across the front of his truck.
I agree.
I fainted at the minute it hit us. He fainted. Wu Jung-hong said those who were missing were either still in the plane or had been pulled down the river. At the moment, things don't look too optimistic. Those in front of the plane are likely to have lost their lives. They had a 400-ton crane trying to get this plane out of the water, but they need a larger machine to do it.
God, it's amazing how quickly it just lists to the left, isn't it? It seemed to be coming down okay, like it was going to clear the bridge, and then just all of a sudden, ugh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm trying to get the. I want to make sure I mention the pilots. One of them, there was a trainee pilot identified as Hong Bin Zahong. What?
I don't know. Japanese and Chinese names are just funny to me.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce them. Go to the news
Coroner
report.
is still trying to determine the cause of death and whether she was already dead when the truck hit her. We have new information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong,
Right.
Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's-
wow.
I
Again.
would have screwed up those names, but yeah, it's crazy. So, anyways,
I would have thought they would have lost their license.
or their lives.
Yeah, after that last incident.
I hold Bang Ding Ao personally responsible for that. I feel like Bang Ding Ao should have. I mean, he was the most senior member
Well,
of that flight crew.
Something Wong was the captain, so
Yeah, that's true.
I tend to.
But
Gotta put it on
Wee
him.
Tu Lo is the second in command. But still, I feel
Holy
like
Fook should have said something.
yeah, and Bang Ding Ao should have as well. This could have been averted if Bang Ding Ao or Holy Fook would have just spoken up at the right time. You know,
Fook
I
is
mean,
my favorite.
Captain Sum Ting Wong can't do everything.
Oh, me sorry, me no speaking Chinese.
Great news, though, also out of Asia. The TransAsia spokesman and TransAsia's chief executive, Xing Zingdi, offered his deep, and I mean deep, apologies to the victims. So that's great news. I was wondering if they were going to have anything to say about this, and luckily they offered their deep, deep
That's
apology.
almost like having them back.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
did I read that this airline had like 5 pretty major incidents in the last, I don't know, 8 years or something?
Always going to look at the glass half empty, aren't you?
Wow, Jay.
I mean, how many didn't have a problem? You're going to point out the 5 that did. I see. Okay.
God.
Is
All
that
right,
true? Did I
pessimist.
hear that right?
Probably.
Yeah. I think one was back in July or something.
Yeah.
Pretty big crash.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you remember the pilot's name?
I don't.
No. Was it Bang Ding Ao or We Too Low? Were they part of that one?
I don't know.
You
I
remember?
don't feel like Chinese tonight anyway.
Yeah, I'm not flying over there. Speaking of planes, this one might be even worse than that one, believe it or not. And this goes to the Hilton family, Conrad Hilton III.
Seriously, his name is Conrad.
Conrad. Don't you just wanna...
Conrad Hilton.
Hello, I'm the third.
I'm Conrad Hilton the third.
Lovey. He's the younger brother of Paris Hilton and the son of Conrad II. And what's her? Kathy Hilton is the mom there. Well, he got into a little trouble, caused a bit of a ruckus July 31st aboard a more than 10-hour flight on British Airways. This is going from London to Los Angeles. It landed safely. They didn't have to divert this plane. Doesn't he just look like a douchebag?
What a D-bag.
He totally looks like a dickhead. That scarf. Oh.
Can we stop with the scarves, gentlemen, as well?
Yeah.
While we're at it.
So ridiculous.
While we're eliminating
The
things.
tie, yeah.
Oh, someone pointed out, Trey, that you're starting that kind of normcore, not wanting ties. No, dude,
I think
don't
the
even-
normcore way would be to put some stupid little tie
You're
on
right.
and untie it halfway.
I
and-
actually
No, it
agree.
would
Yeah.
be to wear a white T-shirt and put a tie.
yeah, exactly.
That would be normcore.
I actually-
Refusing to wear one and play that game would be
No, I agree.
refreshing.
Look
Or
at
to wear
Mike.
like one of those little Cub Scout ties.
Normcore
That'd be normcore.
from head to toe.
We'll get into the Cub Scouts later, by the way.
Mm.
We have a story on the Cub Scouts. Yep.
In the news again.
Yep. We've all been there, right? Were you a Weeblo?
No, I was not a weeb.
I made it to Weeblo.
Did you?
I did. Yep. I
Hold
was
on, man.
I was
That's
a
like
bear
an
and a cub.
achievement. That's an achievement.
You think?
Don't you have to be a bobcat, a bear, and a wolf before? Or
Yeah.
Bobcat, wolf, and then bear.
It's a wee boy.
I thought. I don't remember. I think I
You
was a
achieved
Weeblo.
that, Mike?
I don't know that there was
You
much
achieved those
achievement
steps?
involved.
I think
I
you
really
just showed
don't, and
off.
I don't think I had as many patches as most would have.
You just aged in.
I just aged in. Yes,
aged in.
I did.
Yeah, wolf. What is it? Bobcat,
Bobcat.
tiger cub. Tiger cub. Okay, and then wolf and bear.
I don't
and
know if
Weeblos.
I think I made it to a wolf or maybe
Arrow of
bear.
Light. Wow, that was a step I never even
Yeah.
saw.
I definitely
Never
didn't
know.
make it to Arrow of Light.
And then the real men went on to the
Eagle Scout.
Man Scouts, the Eagle Scouts, which I
What is
never.
what's a Weeblo anyway?
Well,
I know, well,
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, where does that come from?
I don't know. I would think Little Cub would know, or Little Running Bear. What was your name?
Don't start.
Little
with me,
Scout?
man. Yes.
Little Scout. Yeah, I would
Indian
think.
Indian guides, totally separate, man.
Is it? Yeah, that could be me.
That was
right
you
there.
right there.
Yep. I had one of those stupid kerchief neckties.
Yeah.
How dumb.
You had one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and so the patches like formed a square, right? If you got
Yep,
them all.
yep.
Yeah, like bobcat, wolf, bear, and then Weeble underneath, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And then didn't you
took-
get patches for like lighting a fire?
I think so.
Shit like
Merit
that.
badges.
I took
Merit badges. Yeah.
third place one time in the soapbox derby.
Oh,
no
those
big
are
deal.
soapbox or was it the
No, it was
soapbox
the
derby?
wood.
Yeah,
Pinewood Derby.
Yeah.
Pinewood Derby.
Pinewood Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad made mine, and it. You know, a lot of kids put graphite on the
Dude.
wheels, and did you do well at those, Jay?
I did not do well at those.
I
and
did not either.
I'm a little bit bitter. My final one, I was in a couple of them, and my final
There they
one,
are.
I was knocked out by Blazo.
Sarsovich?
Yes, who basically took his and just hammered the wheels onto a block and threw it down the track. And the wheels were so unsteady that the thing just flopped all over the track, and it shoved mine off.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
And they counted that?
Yeah,
Bullshit.
What?
I know.
How is that not a freaking redo or something?
To this day, I
Have you talked to
fear
Blazo
resentment.
about this?
No, not in a long time. I did after that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Blazo
happy.
was a really big dude.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd want to get into it with Blazo.
It was hard to talk to about stuff like that.
Yeah. Blazo was like an all-American linebacker. Went to Hawaii
Hawaii,
on
yeah.
a scholarship as a linebacker.
God, that's what they look like, though, right there, Ron?
Yes. That was a fun tradition right there.
Yeah.
You know,
That and
make the little car.
And carving the soap, something out of a soap. Don't you remember that?
No, I
You
never
don't
did
remember
that.
carving
No.
something out of soap
Mm-mm.
with your
No.
pocket knife? I made a fish.
You did? No,
Yes.
no. No, we stuck to wood. Although my dad let me have very little input on the Pinewood Derby, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, no,
Hold on, Mike. Let me.
I was the designated flashlight holder for all said projects, and it got really boring really quick because he'd be like, "All right, I'll let you try the spray paint," and it'd be like, "You're making a run! You're making a run! Give me that!" And then he'd have to clean it up,
sand
and
it
fix
down.
It sucked.
Sanded it down.
Yeah.
No, my dad pretty much is like, go at it. You know, he cut like the basic shape and was like, whatever you guys want to do, have at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, my dad did not do that. He might have done that with G, but not with me. Not that I was dying to do it anyways. But anyway, back to shithead here, Conrad. He he's 20 years old, very wealthy, obviously.
Very down to earth.
Yeah. He's facing federal charges and staring down 20 years in jail. And I hope he gets every day of 20 years. Could you imagine?
Even if he got a month, you know?
Yeah. Well, he was accused of threatening the flight crew, smoking on the plane, making children cry with profanity-laced tirades, and called everyone who dared be annoyed by his antics peasants.
No.
He's calling them peasants, yes. Here's what he told an FBI agent. He hadn't been drinking on the flight, although he had taken a sleeping pill. He said in his defense, and yeah, he had called people peasants on the flight. So his defense was, no, I wasn't drinking. I took a sleeping pill. But
it was just a sleeping pill?
Yeah, right. I told all of them I could get all of their jobs taken away in less than 30 seconds.
Oh, that's awesome. God. Throwing the peasant word out there and throwing that shit out there. Nice.
He was talking to the flight attendants. That's who he was saying that
Classy.
to. He credited a man at the back of the plane with stopping him from killing a flight attendant. If that man wasn't there, that guy would have been fucking killed on that flight. 100% I would have killed him.
What?
Yeah. Hilton's account of what happened basically matches what the flight attendants and other people on the flight said happened. It all started about 30 minutes into the flight when attendants were about to start drink service on the upper deck, but they couldn't because he was standing in the aisle blocking their path. One attendant said he was just going into tirade after tirade after tirade. He complained that the flight attendants were ignoring him or taking the peasant's side. He whined about being upset because he broke up with his girlfriend. He bragged that his daddy would bail him out of this situation as he had in the past. After all, he's already banned from several other airlines, he told the flight attendants. My father will pay this out. Father will pay this out. He has done it before. Dad paid $300,000 last time.
What a piece of shit.
Food and drink service was delayed 40 minutes. Well, that's an outrage. As they struggled to deal with this dude going up and down the aisles in a rage, just about every other sentence.
Just they put the plane down, man. It seems like they put these things down for anything now.
For much less than that. Said every other word was fuck as he's screaming, so kids start crying. One flight attendant said that at one point he swung at him but missed his face by about 10 centimeters. He hit the bulk overhead compartment. He was probably trying to hit that.
Would you ever estimate something at 10 centimeters?
No.
He missed me by about 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
It should be like 2 inches or something.
Yeah. I don't even know what 10 centimeters is. If you want to square me up, bro, then bring it on. I will fucking fight you. If you want to square up to me, bro. Oh, what a douche. He complained that a male passenger was giving him the stink eye, which meant he either wants to fight me or fuck me, but I'm not gay. He apparently began smoking weed in one bathroom, then ran to another bathroom and started smoking a cigarette after apparently stuffing the smoke detector with paper towels. Hours into the flight from hell, the co-pilot eventually gave him a final written warning, urging him to behave. He ripped up the document.
All right, if this dude doesn't get jail time for this when he admits that he did all this shit,
yeah,
I'm declaring there is something wrong with our justice system.
Oh, Jay's putting down the gauntlet.
I will agree with you wholeheartedly. Finally, shortly before the flight was scheduled to land, he fell asleep for about an hour. In that time, the flight crew devised a plan. This is all with the consent of the pilot. They restrained him while he was sleeping, but he woke up while they were restraining him.
Zip ties?
And enraged, I'm going to fucking kill you! So they're trying to zip tie him up.
Awesome.
Yeah. In the interview with the FBI agent, he read Hilton the part of the law that would apply to this particular case. The agent says to him, an individual on an aircraft in the special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States who by assaulting or intimidating a flight crew member or, and Hilton interrupts him, I did intimidate, but though defensive, he came up to me with his nose. He's cutting the guy off. Like I said, he faces 20 years for that.
The astronomophile, E. We need to know if
I've
this dude
never-
gets jail time.
I can't believe I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, Conrad. How's he kept his nose so clean?
No, just because I watch a lot of pop culture stuff. I mean, I'm shocked at all the Hilton stuff. I've
never heard
Have
of
you
him.
ever heard of Conrad?
I knew she had a younger brother.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know. It seems like someone we would have known, but
Yeah, especially when he's that douchey.
Yeah.
Apparently was in trouble on other airlines, so.
yeah. And then we got ISIS. These guys. And you mentioned this yesterday, Jay, about how this is going to be a multi-generational thing. You even talked about your boys possibly, you could see that as a reality of, hey, it's just part of what we're dealing with, that my boys could have to go and do something with it.
Yeah.
Well, this is why what you said is so true. They erected giant screens in the town square where this guy was
The Jordanian pilot.
Yeah, the Jordanian pilot, and they were showing it on like closed circuit television.
What the
The
hell,
22-minute video in a loop all day for all the people, and children are out there. Look at the smile on this kid's face as he's watching this, ear to ear, smiling, cheering crowds of ISIS supporters watching the murder of this Jordanian pilot on these giant screens. This child here was telling the interview, "I would have burnt him with my own hands." Filmed in Raqqa, the 4-minute clip is titled "Muslims: Joy of Burning of Jordanian Pilot," was released this afternoon. The crowd can be heard cheering, shouting religious slogans as the airman goes up in flames. A child appears to be no more than 8 years old, seen smiling and talking vividly about the murder while eulogizing about ISIS and their barbaric acts. King Abdullah II today returned home. He met with Obama. We are waging this war to protect our faith, our values, and human principles, and our war for their sake will be relentless. We will hit them in their own ground. So at least, if nothing more, at least it sounds like maybe it's woken up these people.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this shit. It ends now. The interviews take place from his original murder video are seen being played to large crowds in the background as those being interviewed are not paying attention, which is why they think it's played on this loop.
Okay.
And also today we learned that the Jordan hung those two, the chick and one of the other guys, Al-Qaeda members. Yeah.
Yeah, as you pointed out, hardly fair retribution when you have an innocent pilot who's killed in that manner, as barbaric as it can get. I guess you could argue the sawing of a head off and putting it on the back is more barbaric, but
and you know what? I've heard people say that this takes it to a new low. To me, what would you rather be, beheaded or lit on fire? I mean, they both sound horrific, but I don't even want to see images of the beheadings, whereas the fire one doesn't. Is that just me?
God, I don't know what's worse, man. I guess a beheading quickly with a guillotine or something would be better, but if it's just being sawed off by that small blade like you see the guy holding, jeez.
Sounds awful.
Although burning alive can't be fun. But dude, as you pointed out though, you've got this guy innocently burned like this, and then you've got
Do you know why they did that, by the way?
No.
Because he was a pilot flying the F-16.
Oh, and it was indicative of what he was doing to
their
women and children.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was bombing places, and children and women were burned. So yeah, that's the significance of that. And then they threw rocks on him, and then bulldozed the whole cage that he did. Yeah, just fucking monster.
So
man.
Jordan kills the woman who had the suicide vest on that didn't explode at the wedding. She meant to kill a bunch of people, didn't explode. She was tried, she was convicted, and hung per that conviction. I don't know. That hardly equates to what they did to this dude.
I totally agree. And the father of the guy, who's as we said, is a really well respected and known. That family's very prominent over there. He says, "I demand the revenge be greater than executing prisoners. I demand the ISIS organization be annihilated. This murderous organization made up of militants from all the world countries is acting in barbaric ways, violating all the international laws, codes of ethics, and prisoners' conventions," which is so true. It's just, I mean, if you really take a step back and think about what's going on there, it's like the thought that this shit is still going on where we're just like, it's becoming almost normal. Like, oh yeah, they beheaded another guy. Like they've had to take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Like think about that. At any point in the world, this is like Hitler.
Yeah, and we haven't even really. I mean, we have touched on it, but not talked about it at length. These executions, mass executions, where they're just lining guys up, boom, 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 one after another.
Yeah.
You know, hundreds at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
something
insane
more
to
needs
think
to be
about.
done. This is absurd.
They do. Jordan has released this. There are people that have been relocated because of these assholes coming in that have lost their homes, their villages, their towns. These people recognize landmarks in these photos, these aerial photos, because they did this super produced, ISIS flag in the corner, high def cams, and so people are freeze framing this and they're going, yeah, I know where that is. I know this row of trees. And so for the first time, really, we're getting a look at like where on the map this took place, which could be really helpful going forward.
Where on the planet Tatooine this took place?
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see. And the Jordan people have kind of risen up and are chanting death to Daesh.
Daesh.
They're calling him Daesh.
Well, I hope it's a lack of intelligence that's been the reason for this lag in us getting these the actual guys who are doing these main executions. I hope that's what it is, and not us just being like, well,
Well, I think it's a mixture of both, but that's a great point because the fact is the intelligence hasn't been that great. We don't have people on the ground who are talking to people. These people, though, in Jordan, absolutely have the ability to get intel that we just don't.
Good. Hey, like I said yesterday, this might be the best news because they're starting to piss off other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And other parts of the world are jumping up to take action. So.
Speaking of that bitch who they hung.
God, she's hot, isn't she?
Yeah, right.
She was.
She in November of 2005 when this all went down with her, she was a newlywed.
Are we sure that's a chick?
I don't know. She's a looker though. Looker or waiter. She was a newlywed at the time. Her and her husband, Ali Al-Shambab, entered the ground floor ballroom of the luxury Radisson Hotel in Amman, which was hosting hundreds gathered for this wedding reception. And Al-Shambab set off his explosive belt, which ripped through a wedding party of 300 guests. The bombing was one of 3 almost simultaneous attacks on hotels in that area that day that killed 60 people. Al-Zarqawi took credit for it later, and officials arrested her 4 days later. He had bragged that even a female was involved. So they arrested her. Several days later, she appeared on Jordanian television and opened the thing and was showing off the bomb belt that you're seeing the picture of there. My husband detonated his bomb, and I tried to explode mine, but it wouldn't. People fled running, and I left running with them. Later at the trial, she pled not guilty and said she never tried to detonate her bomb and was forced to take part in the attack. But then, unfortunately for her, an explosives expert took the stand and said, yeah, her fucking trigger just failed. They examined that belt and went,
it was all ready to go.
It was ready to go. It's rigged with ball bearings and shit. She was going to make a hell of a fucking noise. And her trigger just didn't go. So that's what sealed her fate.
And she looks like Phil Spector.
She does. If you put that
take
hair bear's wig on him.
Yeah.
Dude, she kind of does.
Gross.
Ugh. Yeah. Let's see. We got a picture coming up here.
Hair.
Look at that asshole.
What?
You've never seen Phil Spector? There he is now.
Ugh. Gross.
He looks like looks like he's Gollum or something.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Doesn't he?
He is looking Gollum looking.
Yeah, his wigs in court.
Gross.
Yeah. He worked on a Beatles album. He ruined a Beatles album. They've since fixed it, but he was responsible for the Wall of Sound, right?
Yep.
That was his big claim to fame, was the Wall of Sound in the studio. Which album was that? Was that Let It Be? Yeah, it was the Let It Be album.
Yep.
With and McCartney and them. I think was it Lennon that liked that sound that he got? McCartney fucking hated it. All the violins and all the big shit, and that's why Let It Be Naked came out.
Okay.
Which was stripped back down without the Wall of Sound that this shit had put all over it. And by the way, ISIS knew that this was going to be a big problem killing this Jordanian pilot, a Muslim, lighting him on fire. So they've been circulating, like 10 minutes after that video was posted originally, they started circulating this this video, and they were passing out flyers to everybody. The forum was entitled "Moaz was burnt alive. Below is the Islamic justification for such an act." People are going to ask themselves whether or not this is approved by religion. Some can claim that religion is not approving of burning people, and nor the Sharia or common sense. Most scholars think nowadays it is fine to burn the victim. It tries to shrug off the fact that the Quran expressly prohibits the burning of captives. No actual religious basis for this justification, for the justification of the execution is provided. Instead, it focuses on the means to deflect arguments, saying, this is what you should say if confronted about this stuff.
They have a fairly sophisticated PR department, don't they?
They have an amazing PR department.
You know, video production, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's really weird. They're just so barbaric and just bottom line, just, you know, scum of the earth, but then they're sophisticated in that way. It's crazy.
It's weird. It is weird, but that, you know, that's their thing. They definitely have a huge PR department though that's putting all this shit out. Did you hear about Brian Williams?
Yeah.
I mentioned him earlier. This story is
backtracking a little bit.
Crazy to me. Yeah, Brian Williams has been forced to admit that he wasn't aboard a helicopter that was hit. He's been telling this story for 13 years about being aboard this Chinook helicopter that was shot down by RPGs and how they needed these guys. In fact, I'll let him tell the story. He was on which one should we play first here?
His news story first.
His news story. So is this the one that set off everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he reports on himself.
Yeah. So used to telling the story. It's been
We want to share with you a great moment that took place here in New York last night. The story actually started with a terrible moment a dozen years back during the invasion of Iraq, when the helicopter we were traveling in was forced down after being hit by an RPG. Our traveling NBC News team was rescued, surrounded, and kept alive by an armored mechanized platoon from the U.S. Army 3rd Infantry. Command Sergeant Major Tim Turpak was put in charge of our safety. We quickly realized we were from neighboring towns in New Jersey. He went on to fight the war and invade Baghdad and serve several more tours, earning 3 Bronze Stars. We got to return to our homes and families thanks to him and his men. Command Sergeant Major Tim Turpak and I stayed in touch all these years. He just retired after 24 years in the Army. So last night I invited him to see the Rangers-Canadiens game at Madison Square Garden. It was merely a chance to be reunited, but the Rangers had other plans, as Tim realized when we looked up and saw our picture on the big screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the Iraq invasion, U.S. Army Command Sergeant Major Tim Turpak was responsible for the safety of Brian Williams and his NBC News team after their Chinook helicopter was hit and crippled by enemy fire. Command Sergeant Major Turpak was awarded 3 Bronze Stars for combat valor in Iraq, and recently retired
and just for, you know, to not think that this is an isolated incident, do we have the Letterman one? Maybe we can play a couple minutes of the Letterman one.
12 years for tonight's game.
So anyway,
that's the story. I mean,
it's a great story.
Yeah.
Hero. I mean, putting himself in harm's way like that. So that is until Lance Reynolds tweets out, "Sorry, dude, I don't remember you being on my aircraft. I do remember you walking up about an hour after we landed to ask me what had happened. Then I remember you guys taking back off in a different flight of Chinooks from another unit and heading to Kuwait to report your quote-unquote war story to the nightly news. The whole time we were still stuck in Iraq trying to repair the aircraft and pulling our own security."
He tweeted all that?
Yeah.
It's an amazing tweet.
Well, it must have been a few, right? I'm guessing.
Well, maybe he Facebooked it. I don't know.
I like how he
says
says
that out.
He
though.
calls Williams dude.
I know.
Hey, dude.
Sorry, dude. So here he is. Here he is on Letterman. This is a couple years ago.
And if I knew this, I forgot it, and if I forgot it, I'm ashamed. Something happened 10 years ago in Iraq. Tell people what that occurred. I brought a photo, which arrived in my email 2 mornings ago, of where I was tonight, a decade ago. This very day. This very day. This was me 10 years ago and a young command sergeant major. I was in Iraq. Now, a couple of caveats here.
As war correspondents go, I am the Herb Schmendrick of war correspondence. I'm not terribly good at it. It is not what I do full time. I am mostly New York based. I do go cover these two wars we've been fighting, and when I do, I like to go out on patrol. I like to get out in it. A guy like Richard Engel, the amount of fire we took on this day, his name for that is Tuesday. His name for that is every day of his life.
Right.
We were in some helicopters. What we didn't know was we were north of the invasion. We were the northernmost Americans in Iraq. We were going to drop some bridge portions across the Euphrates so the 3rd Infantry could cross on them. 2 of our 4 helicopters were hit by ground fire, including the one I was in.
No kidding.
RPG and
Really?
AK-47.
What altitude were you hit at?
We were only at 100 feet doing 100 forward knots because we had these massive pieces of bridge beneath us on slings.
What happens the minute everybody realizes you've been hit?
We figure out how to land safely, and we did. We landed very quickly and hard, and we put down, and we were stuck. 4 birds in the middle of the desert, and we were north out ahead of the other Americans.
Oh my!
And
so, Len, as a guy, as a journalist, what do you think? This is a great position to be in, or holy crap, I got to get out of here?
More toward the holy crap. Yeah. The This Is Great was flying over Iraq. Holy crap started when I realized the now deceased former 4-star general we were traveling with, Wayne Downing, said to me, using an old Vietnam era term because he was a Vietnam infantryman, "We're over Indian country." You'll forgive the political incorrectness. He said, "This is unpoliced, virgin territory. We're not near any U.S. troops." So we got hit, we sat down, everyone was okay. Our captain took a Purple Heart injury to his ear in the cockpit, but we were alone. They started distributing weapons. We heard a noise, and it was Bradley fighting vehicles and Abrams tanks coming. They happened to spot us. This was the invasion,
Oh my God.
the U.S. invasion. They saw us.
Wow,
They
so
surrounded
you
us
get
for
the
3
point.
days
Yeah, very
during the
detailed,
sandstorm.
very
Yeah.
harrowing.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine being in that position. So it's weird that this guy would tweet out me like, or write him and say,
You weren't even there, man.
You weren't there, dude. And so then another guy sees that response from, what was his name? Well, whatever it was, Lance, and said, this is from Joseph Miller. "Thank you, Lance. I've been calling him out on this for a long time with no response. He was actually on my aircraft, and we came in behind you about 30, 45 minutes later. He is a total piece of shit. He had the audacity to tell me the whole thing was like Saving Private Ryan and that the whole army would be out looking for him. I called him an idiot in front of his camera crew, and he didn't come back to my bird for the next 3 days."
So this is Joe Miller. What a small world. Joe Miller checks in?
Joe Miller, yes.
Wow.
God, I know we're in the desert, but it's freezing out here. Jesus Christ. I haven't been this nude in years. Oof. Anyone else feeling a chill in the air? Christ, it's freezing. Name's Joe Miller. You're an idiot, Williams. Jesus. Wish I could grow my mustache back in the day. It's freezing.
So this guy called him out years ago, and yet Williams is still pushing the story.
with an amazing amount of detail.
Yeah, you'd think you'd have to have it locked down and think, all right, there's no way the idea that I wasn't actually involved in this is going to come out.
So how does that happen? Because here's what Brian Williams then said after these 2 guys came out and went, "Dude, what are you talking about? You weren't even there." So Brian Williams ends up writing back to Joseph, Lance, Jonathan, Pate, Michael, and all those who have posted. So a lot of people. "You are absolutely right, and I was wrong. In fact, I spent much of the weekend thinking I'd gone crazy. I feel terrible about making this mistake. No, you liar. Especially since I found my own writing about the incident from back in 2008, and I was indeed on the Chinook behind the bird that took the RPG in the tail housing just above the ramp. Because I have no desire to fictionalize my experience, we all saw it happen the first time, and no need to dramatize events as they actually happen. I think the constant viewing of the video showing us inspecting the impact area and the fog of my memory over 12 years made me confiate the two, and I apologize."
Confiate.
Is this what he's saying in the apology?
I think so.
Yeah, why don't we watch it? This was earlier tonight. the apology.
On this broadcast last week, in an effort to honor and thank a veteran who protected me and so many others after a ground fire incident in the desert during the Iraq War invasion, I made a mistake in recalling the events of 12 years ago. It did not take long to hear from some brave men and women in the air crews who were also in that desert. I want to apologize. I said I was traveling in an aircraft that was hit by RPG fire. I was instead in a following aircraft. We all landed after the ground fire incident and spent 2 harrowing nights in a sandstorm
Harrowing.
in the
Harrowing.
Iraq desert. This was a bungled attempt by me to thank one special veteran and, by extension, our brave military men and women, veterans everywhere, those who have served while I did not. I hope they know they have my greatest respect, and also now my apology.
Didn't want to draw any attention to himself. It was all about those
on
fine,
Letterman.
brave veterans.
Apparently, he's been telling this story for years.
It sounds like it, man.
Well, that Letterman one, I mean, he goes as far as to say, like, that he references this saying the guy says, "Oh, we're in Indian territory."
Yeah.
And I mean, that's,
He apologized for being politically incorrect.
Yeah.
They took the bird down hard. You know?
It shook when we were
There's
hit.
no excuse for that, man. He flat out lies.
It's just total bullshit.
It's too bad. I kind of always liked him, you know. He
I
had
did
good,
too.
Good sense of humor for such a foof, and
Yeah.
you know, he kind of used that to, you know, be on 30 Rock and stuff, and Saturday Night Live, and
Yeah.
laugh at himself a lot. But that's bad, man.
Do you think there's any chance that that's like? I mean, I just can't imagine why Brian Williams would make that. Like,
Yeah,
is it
what's-
just so cool to be a part of that?
Honestly, he must think like he must really think he needs some street cred or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems so odd, like, to get that factually wrong and think that to act like you made a mistake. That doesn't sound like a mistake.
No.
You know, a mistake is looking into the wrong camera when you're live. Like that's I apologize, folks. I'm looking into the wrong camera. That's a mistake. Like,
dude, and that just
that's a bullshit
right.
story. That's a humongous bullshit story that you've told year after year after
Oh,
year.
I may have recalled it a little differently over the 12 years, and I really was just trying to save, you know, give credit to the vets. Like, shut up, you
Flat out lie. I mean, and he's in this position of being on the news where
An
you know, people
authority.
have to trust.
Dude, like Walter Cronkite, those people, like when you think of the Brokaws and the Cronkites of the world coming up, that's what made them so good, was that you trusted and respected.
Brokaw?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Amazing Night, Only News. Or Ted Koppel.
Yeah,
I guess
would
going
put
back.
Williams into one of those trustworthy categories until now.
Yeah, are you
God,
gonna?
this really, that's bad, man.
I know
That's
it
not
is.
just a little thing, not just one little detail. That's the whole story.
Yeah,
Trying to make himself look cool.
yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's
like, well, nobody said anything until now. Nobody's going to find out any different, so I'm going to make myself cool by telling this, and he keeps doing it. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah.
Bry.
And it sounds like these guys were calling him out. That one guy's like, I've been trying to point this out for years. Meaning every time I hear him tell this horse shit story, and these guys take that personally. Like, these guys are putting their ass on the line and to, like,
right. So
have
for him
some
to be like, well, I
news guy.
conflated two issues. No, if like you say, if that guy's been pointing it out for years to him,
Yeah.
no, dude, you weren't in that one. You were in the one behind. Why don't you get it straight? If that's true, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a little different, but this just reminds me of that Mitch Albom thing too. That time,
Oh,
dude.
sitting next to Mateen Cleaves
Right.
and Morris Peterson at the Final Four.
How did that never get worse?
Bothers
That-
the fuck out of me.
That asshole journalist made up a story, and it just seemed like nothing ever happened.
No.
He kind of just said, sorry,
Just
crazy.
hyperbole.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
What?
Crazy, sorry.
He said
He
you were
wasn't even
sitting
at
there.
that game, was he?
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because he said, well, I was there, and I turned to Mateen and Morris,
Yeah.
and
I
I
know.
talked about, I remember a couple of years ago when you were on that
Just
floor.
a few short years ago.
Yeah,
that you were
and these guys were like, they weren't even there.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or they weren't together, or they weren't,
Yeah.
they never saw him. Blah,
And
blah,
nothing
blah.
ever really happened
No.
from that. He kind of he went on his radio show still going. His stupid books that he writes are still #1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just always I didn't get that. That was all Mitch seemed like he had too, just like with Brian Williams. No, kind of the concept of you trust this guy.
And he's bigger than ever now.
Right.
Mitch Albom. I think he's got a movie being made now about one of his
God.
books too.
Pamphlets, you mean? Those things are like fucking like 200 pages.
You read one?
Type.
Did
I
you
read a few of them.
Did you?
I read
Really?
Tuesdays.
You read Tuesdays with Maury.
I read
I think
Tuesdays.
they might be making a movie out of that.
I think they did.
There was a
didn't they?
TV movie, I think.
Yeah.
Lifetime movie.
Something like that.
I could have sworn
Hank
recently-
Azaria played him.
Yes,
That's right. That's
yes,
right.
You're right.
That's right. Was it any good?
I don't remember.
I never
what-
read it.
You know what? The book Tuesdays with Maury was all right. I thought that was a good book. But then after that, the bullshit
It's
like,
like
oh,
the people
7
you
people-
meet in heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Tuesdays, that book was like 250 pages, big type. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I read it in like a freaking week, or if not less than. Like, you could read it probably in a day or two.
You were with us crashing his parties,
Yeah,
right?
I've never cared for him.
Yeah, me either. He's a.
You guys want to come back and mow my lawn?
That's
Are
actually
you
what.
serious?
Dude.
Fuck you!
Yeah, Jay and I and a few of us he used to live in the sub.
Next to
my sub.
I used to drive through that sub to get to your house.
Yeah. So he lived at like the end of my sub at Chelmsford. He does again. He lives right down the road here.
Oh,
Does he
Swear to
really?
God,
It's
yeah.
following you, dude.
Yeah. But Mitch lived in my sub, and Jay lived in the sub right behind that next to. God damn it! And he would have these hellacious parties in the summer, and this is when the bad boys were winning world championships. So he would have it in the summer
John
after
Sally standing there.
Yeah, and we would at like midnight, 1 in the morning. We were in high school at the time,
Right.
16, 17 years old or something, and we would crash his parties, and we'd just start mingling. The whole Pistons team would be there.
Nice.
Like right after winning the world championship, he'd have big giant tents with kegs and shit set up in his
Just
backyard.
mingle. Act like you're invited.
Yeah, and we would just mingle about and just hang out and drink beer. And then he finally caught us at like 2 in the morning one time and was like, "Oh, you guys!" He realized we were in high school and was like, "You guys got to get out of here." But he invited us to come back the next day and help clean up. We're like,
His
yeah,
lawn
dude,
needed mowing.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. We'll pass on that.
I'm not trying to pile on, but I know someone that was doing comedy with that interned with him back in the day.
Oh, you'll hear horror
Yeah,
stories.
and
You will hear horror stories.
Totally,
People
dude.
crying, leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, she had to pick him up from the airport and like get his luggage out. You know what I mean? Like a fucking
Yeah.
girl. No, whatever. But
Doesn't
yeah,
surprise me at all. He's a wee little dude with a real
big
hard
opinion of himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, great news. Zot just extended lease deals through the first week of February. That means that you can lease a new 2015 Ford Fiesta, Fusion, or Escape for just $169 per month. You heard right, DetroitCast listeners. Hurry into Zot Ford. Tell them. Chaz
hold on,
Bono.
Chaz Bono ate the King's peanut butter while he threw on his couch or something.
Right.
Did I get
Yeah,
it?
then just sit back and watch the magic happen as you get the best deals possible on new and pre-owned vehicles from our friends at Zot Ford. Again, just $169 per month for a Fiesta, Fusion, or Escape, only at Zot Ford, SZOTT.
Hey, can we do one more video here before we'll take a quick break? But this video, I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm assuming you haven't. This took place in Brooklyn.
I've not seen this.
In front of a kosher supermarket in a completely Hasidic, ultra-Orthodox part of Brooklyn. So this guy, you got the video there, Timko? Yeah. I'll let the video speak for itself, but it's caught here. This guy.
So we've got the curly sideburns, we've got the black hats.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any audio, but there he is.
Oh no, this monster's about to do his deed. Oh no! Come on, man.
He's gonna kill someone.
He's standing. This is seems to be a busy street. Drops his drawer. Oh my God! Just dropped his pants and let it fly, man.
Look at these New Yorkers walk by. They're like not even paying attention to him.
Holy shit!
The guy just shit a humongous amount all over the street. This woman runs by. That guy almost steps in
he's
it.
taking his time, pulling up his pants.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in no rush.
I don't care.
Look at that Hasidic Jew there with a little beanie and the curlies.
Damn, dude. Look at him look down at it. Is he? Oh, he's admiring it.
Yeah, he is.
He's admiring it.
Well, grab my bag. I'll be on my way here. Look at that guy turn around like, dude, you just shit on our sidewalk.
What the hell?
Wouldn't
man?
you be running if that was you? Can we watch it one more time, please?
I don't even want to watch that.
Yeah, you
come
do.
out of his ass, dude.
It came with great dispatch, didn't it?
I thought it was going to take some time.
It was in a hurry.
It was like
he was in a hurry. Like right there. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
Yeah, he drops the bag and he's like, "Oh my God, I got to do this."
Watch him stop. He's like, I think I have to go, and then it hits him right There. Oh God. It's coming now.
And I'll just
drop my pants real quick.
got the tighty whities. They come down and boom!
Oh!
Within seconds of dropping it.
He's in no rush to pull his pants up. He's kind of taking his sweet time. He's admiring his work.
See, I can't even...
Those guys don't even notice it. There's a man with his pants down who just shit all over the sidewalk, and nobody even notices it.
And I don't think that lady did either. That lady's just running to run. She's just jogging by, kind of.
These guys are making a delivery over here. Like,
He's 5 feet from a delivery van.
There's a lot of people making deliveries on this sidewalk. Look at him looking at his work.
This is a very busy sidewalk. With shit being unloaded, he just unloads his shit.
This guy in the truck just no reaction, just loading boxes.
Incredible. I like the start of the video, though, how he's just standing there, and it's like somebody went, go.
Yeah.
You know? Look at him stand.
He's thinking, do I have time to make it across the street to the bathroom? No, I don't.
Drop the bag. Drop
the bag.
the trowel. Drop the children off on the sidewalk. I mean, it's within half a second of the tighty whitey's coming down. So no urine? No urine, I guess.
No, which is weird in that incident. You would think.
I mean, you're that out of control.
This guy almost. You're right.
Yeah, man.
Whoa, excuse me.
Yeah, his white shoes just go slopping by.
But he's got you can tell he's got headphones on the one guy, so he probably doesn't.
Man, what an animal.
What do you do in that situation, though?
What, it's him? Or
yeah, like if it hits you right there and you're like, oh my God.
No, you can't do it right there. You've got to get to an alley or something, to a dumpster. Right. I don't know.
Like there's no
Wouldn't you go on the street, look for a grate or something?
I'd shit my pants before I did that.
I was just going to say, or just let it go.
Yeah, if you can't find somewhere to hunker down that's somewhat secluded, you can't just...
Apparently you can. At this point, the deed is done. He's pulling up his pants. He does subscribe to the belief that you don't have to wipe every time.
No, I guess
don't have to wipe every time.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't wipe at all. It's just...
Wouldn't it be great if you had a doggy bag on him, he picked it up and left with it?
Ugh.
Can you imagine, too, if you're like one of the pedestrians, the timing is impeccable, because you can imagine if you're a pedestrian right next to him when the load came out, hit your shoe or something.
And it looks like one of those pallets might have paper products on it. He could have...
This one right here, right?
Yeah.
It does. It does.
It definitely looks like paper.
I'm not sure. He didn't have an opportunity to wipe.
Well, then he's going to be robbing, Jay. Then he's stealing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, fun video for the day, right?
Yeah, I'm it.
Sorry you had to see that.
Can we resist an urge once in a while, folks? Please?
Oh, my
Can we?
God.
Can we just...
saw it again, dude. Jesus.
Sorry.
Can we resist an urge?
Maybe. If you're lucky, if you're behaved, maybe we'll post the link to that video on our post today. Maybe. We'll converse and discuss. Why don't we take a quick timeout, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the beanbag cop, confessions of a serial rapist. We'll do all that next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey there, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford in Holly. You're thinking it's cold out and no one cares about buying a new car, truck, or SUV. Well, I say big mistake. Right now, Zod Ford is offering our early bird lease pull-ahead extravaganza. That means you can get out of your lease early with no penalties and ride home in the new Ford of your dreams. Plus, you can save over $13,000 on select 14 models. Forget about the cold, because this sale is hot. See our massive inventory at zotford.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Thursday. Really quick before we get to the message board, there's a couple other videos to show you.
I hope it's as good as the pooper.
Yeah, it is. Check it out.
All right, so we're in a convenience store?
Yep.
And here it goes.
And a woman just sits down and shits all over the floor.
God.
And then she wipes with her hand.
Oh my.
What?
Yeah. Did you know this behavior was going on in our world?
I didn't.
2014, Jay, too. It's not like this was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
walking among us. Look at
10
this.
years ago.
Other people in the next aisle.
Oh, was she picking it up? She picked it up.
Yeah. She
Oh my God, she's gonna put it in her purse.
Well, what are you gonna do?
What?
She's carrying toilet paper with her. Oh no! She's wiping her hands off. Yeah, that was a
Holy
mess.
shit,
Can't believe I
man.
did
No. Okay, now she's
time to pull her pants down again.
There's a guy at the end of the aisle at this
She's
point.
wiping.
There's a guy at the end of the aisle. This lady is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, you think? And she just throws it on the ground.
Wow.
Just throws it on the ground.
Something's on my hand.
Oh, wipe it on my pants.
What is it? She almost looks at it like, what is it? Kind of like,
oh, she sniffed it.
she sniffed it.
The grossest thing she did the whole time was sniff it at the end.
I wonder if this
we're like, oh, she's shitting on the floor. Yeah, she's wiping them. Oh, she sniffed it. She sniffed it. Come on, man.
I know.
We don't need to see another.
There's one more. I don't know if you've seen this one. This one's from a couple of years ago, at least. And if you're good, we'll post all these. What happened?
Another supermarket aisle. Are we in the
supermarket aisle? And there's a problem.
Come on, man! It's like instantaneous.
And
holy shit! It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic. We're in the frozen aisle.
I know we are.
Dude, wow, that was just ready to go. I mean, that was the minute the pants were down.
You're in the frozen aisle. She looks like she's close to the back of the store. There's a bathroom about 10 yards away.
Yep. She comes right into view.
It's instantaneous. She's just,
what am I doing over here?
I'm going to drop my drawers.
She kind of looks like she could be pretty, too.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
Boom! Instantaneous. And then it's just right back up, and we're on our way.
Yoga pants.
On our way.
She looked back.
Just barely.
Admired her work.
Barely.
She does look like she could.
She admired her work again right there.
God, man.
Did you have any idea that this behavior was taking place?
No!
Well, that's the end of that.
What are you going to do?
If you're good, if you're very, very good, maybe we'll post these links with today's post. I'm just saying. I haven't decided yet. We'll have a team meeting afterwards and decide if people were good enough.
God, that last one is just so instantaneous and final, right? It's just, there they go down, boom, it's on the floor, pants are up, she's on her way.
On her way, yep.
The other ones, they kind of did a little grunting and...
Yeah, a little bit. What do we got for message board?
Yeah, I was just glancing at the message board. Speaking of the Jordanian pilot, we have a few people debating whether indeed we should actually nuke them.
I like
literally.
That. Can't take it off the table.
That's what one said, and then another guy's like, dude, seriously? Seriously talking about nuking them?
Yeah, why would that be such a shock? If they had nukes, they would nuke us.
Yeah, dumpster babies. Like, do you people really think we should or even could nuke them, quote unquote? Real simple-minded and absurd solution. I hope you were joking and not actually that stupid, but I don't know. And then somebody else says, I'm sure that's the extreme to nuke them. What's your idea? So that's one thing. And then we've got, it's not, I asked for anybody to let us know if they've received our Kickstarter reward yet.
Oh, okay.
And I've not received anything affirmative in that regard.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised at that.
We've got, let's see, ZT4675 chiming in saying DirecTV is not cable, Mike. Okay,
It's
goddammit,
satellite.
Walters.
Whatever. You know what I'm
DirecTV
talking
is
about.
satellite. Stop calling it cable when referring to Jay's cell phone Slingbox setup.
I'm playing the game with
You
Jay.
even referenced having DirecTV on previous occasions.
Yes, I
and you
do.
mentioned Playboy being channel 599. That is DirecTV.
Yes.
Comcrap or the others do not have a channel 599.
Whoa.
Keep up the good job otherwise.
Comcast
Okay.
doesn't have a channel 5. Comcast goes up to those channels.
I believe ZT4675 on this. I don't know. 'cause
Well,
I
I know
don't have
that
cable.
I know what
No, you have
Comcast.
satellite. You're better than cable.
I know 727 is FXX on Comcast.
I believe Playboy is 576 now, but I don't know.
So I mean, I'm not saying there's 5.99. There might not be 5.99 as a Playboy channel on Comcast, but they go up to those numbers.
And we have, let's see. Sorry, I'm just toggling through here. It takes a second, but we have a comment about a favorite show moment that may dovetail with a story we have in a moment. H. Mauch, M-A-U-C-H.
Yeah.
Speaking of pulling off the road due to hysterically laughing, I nearly crashed while driving home after dropping my son off at school one morning, listening to Officer Walters taking care of business in the old folks' home when the cops shot down the 85-year-old man.
95. Yeah. Very
With
important.
the beanbags. I had tears streaming down my face. I was laughing so hard. Whenever Officer Walters makes an appearance, I'm usually in for a laugh attack. Back to your room, Gertrude.
Well, he just needed, he needed the public. He's got a public to protect.
Yeah.
That's his thing. Officer Walters has a public to protect, and if Gertrude's going to get in the way, in the line of fire, she could take a beanbag
That's her
too.
fault. She ought to get her freaking walker
I
out
gotta
of the
be
way.
honest. I think there's arguments to be made that Officer Walters does not necessarily have. He may have a city to protect, but I don't know how well he does protecting said city or said community.
Crime is down everywhere. People are terrified of Officer Walters
I don't
all across
doubt
the country.
that. I don't doubt that they are.
That
He's a
story
good
was
man.
so ridiculous, man. That cop was. Hey, you're telling me a
He's a
95-year-old
hero.
man
He's a hero.
wielding a knife. You couldn't just
Yep.
walk up and go, what was his name? Like John. John, hold still.
No, it was Mr. Rana.
Okay, Mr. Rana. I'm going to grab your wrist. I'm going to take that knife from you. Instead, he tries
it was
to tase
John,
him.
you son of a bitch. John Rana.
That's what I thought.
Wow.
Tries to tase him and misses, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's
Happens.
like, fuck it, man. This is my opportunity to bust out the beanbags.
Yep.
Grabs
They
his
won't let
12,
us-
12 gauge from,
they-
what, 10 feet away?
8 feet, I
How many
think.
centimeters is that, Jay?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can imagine. I can. They won't let us take our AR-15s in there in that situation, so we got to resort to beanbags and cute things like that. So
A
that's what we do.
95-year-old man
Yeah.
who, if you gave him chest compressions, your hands
Probably
would
going to kill him.
probably go right through his ribs
Yep.
and kill him.
It's a risk I'm willing
You're
to
gonna
take.
shoot
It's
a
a risk
beanbag.
I'm willing to take.
How many miles per hour was it?
190, I think.
From 10 feet away.
Hey, Rana should have thought of that when he was wielding his carving knife. Well, we do have an update on that front. It was the hero was Officer Craig Taylor. He hasn't been able to sleep really since he was indicted. This is a total injustice. Indicted for firing a shotgun loaded with beanbags at the World War II vet. The officer has been roused in the middle of the night from the trauma of being arrested, handcuffed, tried in a reckless conduct case tied to the 95-year-old John Rana's death. Some of that emotional burden was lifted. He was acquitted today.
Wow.
Great news out of Chicago, everybody.
Wow.
The judge said there was absolutely no evidence the officer used excessive force. See? There was nothing criminal about his actions. Taylor followed proper police procedure, and that's what I always preach. Officer Walters does follow by the book procedure.
Yeah.
He was simply carrying out a plan devised by his superior officer. When the judge issued his ruling, he bent down and started crying, tears streaming down his face. And also some of Rana's relatives, they had tears streaming down their face. Why were they crying? He was 95. He
had a good run. He had a good run.
He was on bonus life for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
how many of his colleagues from World War II were still alive? Let's put it that
not
way.
many. It was a tragedy and all that shit, his lawyer said. But he also noted that the elderly man was aggressively swinging a carving knife at the officers who were called to the place after he refused to be checked for a urinary tract infection. That was the problem. Using a shield against Rana or pepper spraying him, which some people suggested were not the best options. Some shields since shields are used as an offensive weapon to dodge projectiles, and gas would fill up in Rana's small room.
Mhm.
So there was literally nothing else they could do but fire a bunch of beanbags into him. I mean, that was the only option left on the table. Retreating would also be unwise as Rana grew more agitated as the day went on, threatening and swearing at people. He was swearing at residents, Jay.
Yeah, and they could have backed him out the front door and then just close the door. One more step, John. Come on, just one more step. And then run around him and close the door.
The defense attorney, Terry Elk, is not blaming Rana for his death, but said he may have been alive had he agreed to get surgery to treat the internal injuries he received as a result of the beanbag shooting. So he could have. He chose not to, and it cost him dearly. You can't blame the officer for that one. I'm sorry.
Bullshit, man.
Despite the judge's verdict, the prosecutor still believes the actions of Taylor were towards a disoriented Rana were reckless. Taylor and the other officers should have let Rana cool off a bit. I disagree. You know, time is of the essence, especially when you're dealing with a 95-year-old. You never know when something's going to go haywire with a 95-year-old. You got to take that threat down. I think there was a time frame where they could have let him be before they went rushing in and grabbing the shotgun. They've got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit pending. There he is. Look at him.
Black cop, white victim.
Yep. That's the difference in this story. So anyways,
I forgot about Rana's wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's a looker.
Woo.
Yep. Again, do you think
What do you
think he saw it turning out like that?
No, if you recall, my original wording of her looks were that she was butt ugly, is what I said. So.
Yeah, she's.
Could you imagine getting? Oh, never mind, nothing.
Hey, speaking of dismissal of charges, remember Evan Reed? We talked to Gorsica. Former Tiger pitcher, minor leaguer for most of the year last year. Evan Reed was charged with rape, essentially.
Yeah.
Fifth Avenue, I think he met a
was it Fifth Avenue? Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, took her back to the hotel.
Yeah, the night before opening day.
Fucked her in the ass.
Oh,
And a blowjob.
Yeah, it happens.
Little
What are you gonna do?
ATM.
What are you gonna
And
do?
that's the story that brought us Sexual Congress, because as you'll remember, once
Is
that
it
got
really?
dismissed, we started looking at this girl's.
Yes,
we Googled
you're
her.
right.
We found her divorce filing, and her then husband, had filed a divorce filing saying, yeah, you know, she engaged in sexual congress with other people and all this shit, and so we were just dying laughing at Sexual Congress.
Yeah.
Well, those charges were dismissed at the preliminary exam stage, which was unbelievable. Remember, it was like, because all you're doing is just looking to see if there's enough evidence to take it to trial. We had Gorsuch on, and he was happy as shit, and everything was great. Well, the Court of Appeals reversed that.
Yeah, that was a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, so the charges are back on. He's going to be tried, although I guess the latest news is that the Detroit judge has agreed to delay it so that now his lawyers, Evan Reed's lawyers, can appeal to the Court of Appeals and ask them to do something different.
Is Gorska still on that?
I see Ben Gonick,
who was on it before.
Yeah, but I don't see Gorsuch's name.
Maybe we can talk to him again.
Yeah, so
Although I don't know what he'd be able to say.
It was shocking, man. I mean, at the time, it was like, wow. I mean, you know, when you have a he said, she said sort of deal, and you're not supposed to make like, well, I just don't believe her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there has to be enough evidence to send him to trial to say, look, if she is to be believed, then this charge might stick. A jury might find him beyond reasonable doubt. But the judge there really, I was thinking at the time, like, wow, you know, he kind of bent over backwards for Reed, but whatever, big win for them.
Yeah, right.
Well, the Court of Appeals disagreed and said there's at least enough. You know, it doesn't mean he's guilty, doesn't mean he did it, but there's enough to send him to trial.
Wow.
And he's now off the Tigers. I think they let him go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who he got picked up by, but
yeah. Well, speaking of rape cases, there was an article that came out today in, I don't even know the site, some weird site. They do a lot of love stories and lists, sex lists, that kind of thing, and it's confessions of a serial rapist. And I was like, ooh, I'm interested in that. I want to hear the confessions of a serial rapist. Are you guys interested?
I am.
Yeah. I am a serial rapist. I admit it. This isn't me talking. I'm reading the article now. Listen, I'm not a jerk. I was always in a committed relationship with my partners. This may surprise you, but I've always been...
I'm not a jerk. I rape chicks, but I'm not a jerk.
I've always been the committed type. I had 3 long-term partners before my current partner, to whom I have been legally married for a long time, but none of that stopped me. When I wanted sex, I took it. I'll tell you a secret. It's easier to rape when you are in a long-term relationship. Consent gets pretty murky. My partners were not always into sex when I wanted it. I didn't care. And because they valued me and their relationship with me, they accepted it. Their own minds were murky. That's the perfect storm. Just what you want. So far, you on boardy?
Yeah, no.
I didn't care if they were tired. I didn't care if they were feeling run down. I didn't care if they just wanted to go to sleep. I never said it, but in the back of my mind, all I could think was, fuck you. So I did, all the time. I still do it. Verbal consent, what's that? I don't ask, I impose. Like physically impose. Strip off my clothes and simply declare what is going to happen.
Nah, you're losing me a little bit here. I gotta be, just to be, yeah.
What's going to happen? Sex, because I want it. I put up with all this relationship shit so I can have sex whenever I want. I'm not initiating any stupid conversations about how and why your feelings are important. I don't give a fuck. I just want to fuck.
But let me be clear. I'm not a jerk.
I'm not a jerk.
Yeah, that whole jerk thing might be all...
I'm not a cheater. I have never cheated on a partner. I don't do cheating. It's not because I'm not smart enough to hide it or incapable of such betrayal or I'm afraid of being caught. Who cares if I'm caught? Go fuck yourself. And next... I don't cheat because being a loyal, honest, trustworthy human being is central to my identity, and cheating means I give that up. You may not know I've cheated, but I will know, and the person I see in the mirror, that matters to me. I want to look at the reflection and see a Marine, Semper Fi, always faithful. It's who I am. So I don't cheat. I rape. I take what I want. And then 2 great rapes.
What?
The Mustang rape. We're in our last year of high school. I've been dating the same person since grade 9, and now we're in grade 12. It all ended amicably, and I'm on the loose. You have piercing blue eyes and jet black wavy hair, and I am totally smitten with your physical beauty. Your brothers have given you a car, a Mustang, with an engine that needs to be rebuilt. I'm so in on this. We spend days talking, chatting, working on the car. We strip out the transmission, rebuild it, all this shit. I put up with this for a while, and then I've had enough. The car is almost done. The summer is almost over, and I'm sick of your fucking games. We're alone. We swim and chat. You get out of the pool, your body's streaming, the water almost smoking under the summer sun. I get out behind you and strip off my wetsuit naked. You're kind of shocked. You start to argue. You're not sure. I don't care. I wrap my arms around you in a death grip with a few deft hand moves. It's done. Penetration.
What?
You're moaning, so am I. I throw my full weight on you and get what I want. We date for a full year and it ends in a marriage proposal, which is refused for some reason. You guys still on board?
Do you think he really dated? Like, was she really into dating him for a full year? I
don't know.
If she is, she got some issues too, by the way.
The cigar store rape. We meet at college. We're both auditioning for a Shakespeare play. We both get cast. You love being on stage, love the spotlight, love all the attention. The real fun is behind the scenes. I'm the store stage manager, producer, and director. The college builds a new theater. I direct the inaugural play. I cast you as the lead. Of course I do. After college is over, you use some money to open a cigar store, but it takes up a lot of your time. Sexually frustrated. You're just not giving me what I want anymore. It's all about the store, and fuck you. Some kind of event, I can't recall what. You are there dressed to the nines looking gorgeous. I am going to fuck you. You go down to the basement to fetch I don't know what, and I follow you down. I thrust you up against the wall. You're protesting. You have to get back to the customers. I don't care. I shove my hands rudely down the front of your clothes, basically undress you. I fuck you up against the wall while you protest. I so don't care. I take all the time I need to get what I want. Still on board? Or is this a problem?
Yes, I don't. What do you want me to say?
When I'm done, you're sort of mad, but not really, and you go back upstairs and no one has any idea what happened. We date for another year. It ends in a marriage proposal, which is refused for some reason. I finally meet my permanent partner and attempt rape as per usual, but I get strongly resisted, and it dawns on me that if this person has the guts, the strength, and confidence to resist me, chances are all other comers will be resisted too. I let the first few sessions go down as consensual, but slowly, I work my way towards taking what I want. I'm an expert at this point. I know how to get what I want, and I do it. I still do. I will never ask permission. It's not who I am. I stop short of violence because violence is vulgar and well beneath me. I stop short of violence because I doubt I would win. I stop short of violence because it's ugly and crass, and there are so many better ways, subtler ways to get what I want. I'm a serial rapist, and on the whole, my victims love it. Oh, please, with your whining, they love it. They come back for more, which I'm happy to deliver. I am a serial rapist, and I have no regrets. P.S. I'm also a woman, and all my victims are male.
Ooh, didn't see that coming.
It's a
a little different, huh?
All of a sudden, the story doesn't seem so horrific,
Right,
does
yeah,
it?
Who cares, right? Hell yeah. And down now.
Is it? You were on board with this being a monster, weren't you?
Right. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Now that you know there's not even a victim.
Right. Yeah. You're right. That's great. That's funny. Because obviously, you see it completely. I mean, I do anyway.
Isn't that funny how that works, though?
Yeah.
I'm reading. I'm like, I really want to get on board with this. I like this idea of being in charge. Take what you want. I'm finding myself going, no, you can't. You just can't do that. You just can't. You could play like that, but you just can't do that. And then it's like, oh, you're a chick, and all your victims are men. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's
yeah, 100% cool.
All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, totally. Everything totally makes sense.
Well, it's just like the
There's no
twig
victim.
situation, right?
It is.
Is there really a victim there?
No. Oh no. We've declared that long ago.
Yeah, there's no That's funny.
Yeah. Well, anyways, someone who won't be a victim.
What if she was super gross though?
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
What if she's just super gross?
Right, if she's super hit, like
you head down to the cigar thing. You're trying to get something out of the storeroom, and the super gross chick comes up and pins you against the wall.
Even then, it's still. I mean,
it's still Congress.
It's still yeah. Like I'm not saying I'd want that, but you're right. Like,
be raped by a super gross chick, no problem for Big E.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still you're still getting some in the end, right?
I mean, you're a guy.
What are you
gonna enjoy it? And so, dude, I was saying the other day.
Well, people will say that. People will say that, like, "Hey, you had to get hard.
That is
you must have been into it, right?"
Well, friction gets rubbed up against it, right? I mean, fucking.
So
what if it's that, dude?
Oh my God.
Okay.
But by that logic, if a guy just rubbed on your thing and it got going, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm not
would
saying
that be
it'd
okay as long as you got off?
Oh my God. I'm not saying it'd be ideal. But I mean, I wouldn't.
Was that like Mackinac? Was that?
No, she was not that big.
No,
pretty close.
Bigger?
No. I would never want to have sex with this girl, but I mean, I suppose if we're in this.
She pushed you up against the wall.
Can you go back to that picture for a second? 'Cause there's so many disturbing things about it.
The thong, maybe.
The thong. Why? It should be illegal to make thongs that big.
Wow, man.
Shouldn't it?
Maybe it's not a. Maybe it's not a thong.
It's a dress.
Just pulled tightly. Those are regular granny panties, just pulled very tightly.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a few things wrong.
Stretched to the limit.
She's bending. Oh, how she's bending.
Oh, Lord.
Sexy.
Well, that's hot apparily.
That is hot, according to Sports Illustrated, right?
Yeah, we got a new story today about Sports Illustrated. Their swimsuit issue's coming out.
Ugh.
You guys excited for the swimsuit issue?
I used to be.
The body paint stuff where they're just painting nude chicks. I love those.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we got a new girl, model Ashley Graham, has become the first plus-size model to ever be featured in a Sports Illustrated issue. 26-year-old model from Nebraska features in a beautiful new campaign for swimwear.
No.
Swimsuits for All, which was today unveiled as the first ever plus-size model ad to ever been selected to grace the pages of the swimsuit issue. I know my curves are sexy, and I want everyone else to know that theirs are too.
No, they're not.
No, she's letting everyone know that theirs are too.
No, they're not.
Swimsuits for All helps women feel confident and sexy in swimsuits, and I am so thrilled to be part of the Curves and Bikinis campaign. The stunning campaign marks an important milestone for both Sports Illustrated and the wider fashion industry, which has come under heavy fire from critics in recent months for its alleged discrimination of plus-size women. I mean, that's like saying midgets can be discriminated against by the NBA. I mean, that's almost as silly to me.
Yeah, you think it's a bona fide occupational qualification that they be hot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything wrong with that, though? Like, their job is to sell something, and they're hiring a very specific look to do that. And to be forced, because Sports Illustrated doesn't want to, and this girl's not a pig. She doesn't look like a monster.
Yeah,
she's just overweight. She's just slightly overweight.
What is this recent push to change the ideal beauty or to change the vision of what female beauty is?
You've already explained it in other stories, Jay. The problem is the push is to just have it kind of be like, well, everyone's kind of, America.
Everybody's kind of frumpy, so let's make
just
frumpy hot. The problem though isn't kind of the whole thing a fantasy?
Look
Like
at
it has
that.
to be something somewhat unattainable.
Totally.
You know, something that's out there.
Look at that ass, Jay. I'm serious though.
I understand your seriousness.
You know what I thought about when I was seeing this, Jay? Like when I was looking at her and people were remarking, I thought when I used to get the Sports Illustrated magazine, you know, that was a big deal for me still. Even for me, we didn't have internet
He was making
yet.
the international jerk-off
Right.
sign.
And I
those
wouldn't
not
use
watching.
this. I wouldn't have used this picture. I would have
No.
gone to the next one, next page.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
That's one page that doesn't count for Big E.
That's what we call the bona killer, right? That's
Yes.
the bona killer.
No,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that the deal? Like the whole idea is fantasy
Yes.
and it's unattainable to some extent, and so you're constantly looking at the top of the mountain, like you can't grab it, and that's why it's so.
Yeah. You dream about
Yeah,
something
but that
like
other
that, but no, it's
the fat chick, you can walk down the street and see 12 of them.
Yeah. You see a lot more than 12 of them.
These days.
Look at that, though. That's your typical Sports Illustrated model right there.
There we go. That's more like it.
Unattainable. Gorgeous. You know,
yeah.
And the funny thing about this, too, is they've got these fashion experts that are all commenting about this as if they're thrilled that this is going on. Honestly, I'm thrilled to see this. Over the past couple of years, the fashion industry has changed so much and opened up to new ways of doing things, from transgender models on the runway to the rise of power bloggers on the front row. It's enlightening to see old rules being broken down.
What a load of shit.
And the transgender models they talk about are we guys who have done everything they can to look like a sexy chick.
Right. Which
Like
you're actually saying are worse because it's so unrealistic because they don't have female hips.
True.
So I'm just saying that they've said that the guys that are dressed like it's even more ridiculous.
God, you've scrutinized these, haven't you?
I haven't
Of course,
read
there's
any-
that Adam's apple you have to worry about. But
Yeah, and the tucking you have to deal
No,
with.
but I'm saying now, I read that though. I actually did
Yeah.
read that, and in some article about that is transgenders good for the runway. I don't remember where I read that now, but
is this like a corporate decision by Sports Illustrated to say, hey, we've taken so much heat over the years for just having the sexist issue come out,
Yeah.
and we're going to start
their
to
most
kind
popular issue, by the way,
For sure.
no, by far and away.
Of course. But we're going to kind of, I don't know, water that down a little bit and show women that, hey,
Act like we're inclusive to all.
Exactly. Is that what this is?
Probably. It
Little bit of
probably
that?
is.
dude, I was telling Walters about this. I've been watching the live feed that people have been saying on the Facebook thing, and like, it's insane, dude. This one guy just wrote just now. Some guy's like, "This is what society views as like, larger. We have sick, beliefs in this society." Girls just on here every 10 seconds. Finally, this is happy. This is plus size. I guess I'm a plus
Yeah.
size.
You are.
Yeah, you are. You're fat.
Well, they also going with the print campaign that they're doing, they also made a video. They've a risque video ad which sees Ashley strolling along the beach, capturing the attention of some overwhelmed male admirers.
Fake.
The ad ends with her flinging her bikini top to a nearby swimming pool, and you can see the rolls on her back here.
Oh, I know.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
As she flings it back. What I found hilarious though is they're trying to be all like this is the norm, and so you want to see the guys that are admiring her, because that's what the normal guy looks like, right?
Right.
Joe 20 pack.
Yeah.
Every one of them is just as
Tan,
if
broad shoulders. Love this.
as if those guys are
Oh, you
going
got
for
it.
that chick.
Right.
Like they're
Not
clamoring
one
over
of
this.
those guys would have sex with that girl.
No. And if it's really about showing what real people look like, well then why don't you have normal looking guys sitting there on the beach clamoring? Because that's who's going to be clamoring after her, is normal everyday guys who could never attain the supermodels that usually grace those pages.
Right.
That's a great point. You're right. That's a great point.
So it just seems silly that you're trying to force something that just doesn't exist.
Is this
It's
where
just
I
not
throw?
reality.
Is this where I throw a little wrench in your argument and point out that you once dated a Playboy model?
I did, but so
Somehow attainable, Mike.
yeah, but
But you're Mike.
What are you gonna do?
I see your point.
Good.
Yeah, look at these guys. Yeah, these male models essentially sitting up in their seats.
This
Oh
is-
my God, look at her.
this is comical, dude. This looks
It
like
is.
a parody
Yep,
video.
it does. You're right.
I mean, seriously, this
Saturday
looks like a
Night Live
joke.
shit. Yeah. But there's more and more of this being shown now, this whole plus size thing. And is it true that people are such sheep?
Gross.
People are such sheep. Are we going to start accepting this?
Yes.
No.
I think I do. Jay, I swear to God, I've been saying this for a few
You know,
years.
Kim
My buddies
Kardashian's
now.
ass is now the ass, right?
It's fucking
That's
disgusting.
what we're being told, but that's what we're being told.
Me and Ty have been talking about this for about 3
Tyshawn
years
Gross?
now. Yes,
TCG.
TCG.
Yep, TCG.
We've been talking about this for about 3 years now, Jay, when I started getting on the yoga pants 3 years ago. And I said, the reason is because it's just become acceptable. We're all gained weight, so let's just say, well, then that's okay.
No, but here's the problem with that, though. I find beauty in what I find beauty in, and that's not going to change because of an ad campaign.
I understand that.
You know what I mean?
But
Like, there's no point where I'm going to walk down the street and go, "Wow, that chick's
But will
gotta
the
be at least
generation
50
below
pounds
us,
overweight."
you know, okay, you're dead set in what you like, but will the generation that's
Well,
being
here's the
fed
deal.
this stuff over and over and over start to view that? And is that a good thing?
And then the thing is, Jay, I'm
Seems like
telling
an
you,
unhealthy thing, but
when you go to the mall
coming
and
from
stuff,
me of all people.
I think the problem is, though, the problem is the whole America in general. I'm not to get on the whole, but the whole fat thing, overweight, obesity in America. The problem is, you go to the mall or you go anywhere, you can see, the guys are bigger too. So it's just like, we're just all fat. So let's just, let's just deal with it. I guess we're fat, so okay.
You know what we need is those constant front runner chicks who are out there exercising like crazy, staying fit to keep that, that ideal.
Well, again, like we've said before, if you were like, this girl's like, I love me and I'm beautiful and this and that, and she can say that all she wants, but if you were to offer her a magic pill, take one and she'll look like a normal supermodel, she'd take your hand off trying to get that pill out of you.
You're right.
She just would. So it seems like a false thing. And the fact is, they hire people who are going to help them sell something. The majority of people out there, I just fail to believe, think that, that's the real attainable thing. Because I'm sorry, that girl's very attainable.
Yeah.
That's a very attainable thing. And if that's what people want, then okay. But I just don't. I think you nailed it, dude. It's like it's meant to be an unattainable goal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems.
But is that
really
to say
forced.
that she's?
It seems forced to me.
Let's say she's not a model and she's just Joe Schmo, or Joan Schmo. Is it wrong for her to be like, yeah, this is who I am and I'm comfortable with that? Do you have a problem with that?
No. What
Neither do
I have not at all.
I have a problem when they're trying to trump that up though as the beauty ideal and I'm a model and look at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what men want. It's like.
I totally agree with that. And there's a place for it, I suppose. There's a reason that particular girl is not in the swimsuit issue. And I think if you loaded the magazine with that girl, you wouldn't sell that many of them. And isn't that the goal?
I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't have bought it if that was every girl.
Well, maybe next year you have two.
Of course you will.
Throwing
a tranny, throwing a transgender in there. Why not? Throw trannies into there because we're all inclusive, right? I mean.
No, he pointed out the waist to hip ratio is a problem. So.
Yeah, is that it? I'll probably get hip implants.
I'm just saying, too. I wish I remember what article I read that in. It was absolutely a true thing.
Ugh.
Hey, Zott Ford is your lease pull-ahead specialist. Right now, they can get you out of your lease early with no penalties to you. That's right, regardless if you're driving foreign or domestic, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, or Toyota, Zott Ford can get you into a new Ford now. So ditch your old tired junker and ride deep in a Zott Ford. Check out their massive inventory and their amazing deals right now at ZottFord.com. And boy, was I happy I was driving my Ford F-150 these last couple days.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, driveway. Man. Even just this little bit of snow, man, huge difference with the four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you need it.
Yeah. Especially in Michigan, you almost have to have it.
It's beyond absurd not to have it anymore.
Hey, we mentioned the Cub Scouts earlier, and we've got a group of parents who are fuming mad in San Diego.
Why?
Well, I'll explain. A pack of San Diego Cub Scouts were wandering around. They were doing this nature hike along Torrey Pines, the world-famous golf course. Beautiful. It's stunning. If you've never been to Torrey Pines, highly recommend it. It's some of the most scenic views you'll ever see. It's Tiger Woods' home course.
Oh, I guess we can all just play on that course then, right?
Yeah.
Just walk on.
Well, I think you can.
Is it a public course?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it is because I played it and it wasn't private. But it butts up to Black's Beach, which is
everybody's heard of Black's Beach.
Nudist beach. Yeah. And so these kids are going on a nature trail walk, and they took a right-hand turn and ended up on Black's Beach.
Crazy.
Cub Scouts.
The Cub Scouts. Yeah, they're like 9 and 10-year-olds.
Picture them with their little kerchiefs.
Yep. They got an eye full of nude beachgoers, and the parents are livid. In a statement released by the San Diego Imperial Council, they worked to assure that the children's path through Black's Beach was quickly rerouted to protect the youth.
Nature at its rawest.
Once the leaders realized that this was, this is wrong, we can't take them this route. But one parent says this is bullshit. Her and her husband argue that they said that the packmaster knew exactly where he was taking them. He said, this is a naturalist beach. My family and I go here all the time. I was nauseated because I've never seen just a bunch of nude people walking around holding hands. Strange
and you
people
know
they
they're
don't
not
know.
hot nude people.
They
are not
in San Diego. In San Diego,
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
people that go to those nude beaches, I don't.
Mostly they're the guys like E with the supple stuff falling over his, balding,
I would agree in a lot of parts of the world, but San Diego.
I don't think it matters. I still
Yeah,
think the people,
it does. I've been there. I've been on that beach, and it was like, wow, there's
really
some beautiful women. Yeah, and
Wasn't
occasionally
just the
there's
old
a
bald guy
supplement.
with the gold chain and the
Yeah.
Speedo.
Yeah, that guy's there too, which is even more fun to watch because it's fun to laugh at those dudes. There were dozens of people they were encountering. They claim. Would you be pissed if your kids were out scouting?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, what?
The whole thing is like he didn't know where that beach was. I mean, he's
what are you gonna do? It's naturalist.
I'm not saying whether you'd be mad or not, but it's clearly.
I've even heard of Black's Beach.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to San Diego once in my life years ago, but I had heard of Black's Beach.
Yeah, it's awesome. Black's Beach describes itself on its website as maintaining a family-friendly presence that does not condone public sex or vulgar behaviors. Listen, I'm all for it. Like, whatever they want to say is fine, but I'm telling you, if you go to, I think it's the 6th hole at Black's Beach, and look over the cliff, and you'll just see mattresses in the mountain.
Really?
Yeah, where just gay sex galore goes on.
Gross.
So to act like this,
Right off the bluff of this beautiful golf course,
It's
there's
stunning.
just mattresses.
mattresses, we just like stuck into the rocks.
People selling their arses right there, just below.
Is that? Yeah. See if you can.
We looked
Is it down in that
tried
crevice?
already, dude. We
Did
tried
we
this
try
last year. Yes. We tried to find it on Google
Google
last
image?
year, and it was like you couldn't get close enough because.
Well, maybe they've updated their.
Trying to find the mattresses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gross.
I wonder if they've taken them out or if they're still there. Doesn't that look amazing though?
Yeah, that is amazing.
I want to say it's like holes 4, 5, 6 or something. Like they go inland and then there's a stretch of them that are all on that coast, and that first one is like a par 3, and the hole is overlooking the ocean, and to the left, like when you're going down the fairway, to the left is just a cliff where you could easily push someone off if you wanted, and if you look down, is that it there? So that row of them there. So this, like right in here, is probably a par 3 or something, and I don't know where.
You don't want to slice right there, is what you're saying.
No, you don't want to slice there. Nope.
You'll end up in more than a sand wet. Or damn it!
No, go ahead.
Finish
Go
it
ahead.
up.
Go ahead and finish
I'm
it up.
done.
That was good.
No.
No, it'll be
that
good
was
the
gonna
second
be
time.
good,
It'll
yeah.
be good the second time.
You can
No,
do it.
I don't take
Come on.
mulligans.
No,
I don't
come
take
on.
mulligans. No.
You haven't ruined the punchline yet. You didn't even
Yeah,
say it yet. We
something
don't know
about a
what you're gonna
sand wedge.
say.
I'm dying to hear what it is. Come on. You're going to need a little bit more than a sand wedge?
Sandwich to get out of that.
That's good. I like that.
I really shut
That was good. It was
That
better than I
was-
thought. The delivery was better than I
Shut
thought it was
up.
going to be.
You
Seriously.
You dicks.
I think the delivery was everything. I mean,
Is that it there? Is that?
I thought that's where we looked at before a second.
they're zooming in. Google
We did
Earth.
this last year, Jay. I'm telling you, we did this at one point last year.
Yeah, it's down in the gorge. If you get down in the
I
rocks.
remember sitting, got a deja vu all over.
Really?
I remember sitting here at one point with Mike sitting here, standing up.
Maybe they updated their stuff. You don't know. Yeah, like right
In
in.
the bluffs.
Yeah, maybe they've mosaicked them out or they've removed them.
There's Congress occurring in the bluffs.
I was with a couple Asian guys who were that teamed up with G and I in a foursome. Go ahead. And they were clearly.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese.
I think they were Chinese, but whatever. And they pointed it out to us. They were like, "Look
I
over
don't
the
feel
cliff."
like Chinese tonight anyway.
That's all right. It was middle of the day, so going anywhere with them at night.
But they knew about it?
But yeah, they were like,
Oh.
look over the edge. Yes, you see a mattress, and it was like, holy shit, that's multiple mattresses. I wonder if they've been removed. Maybe they've been removed. I don't know.
Ugh.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Would you date a bisexual, Manny? I know I asked you that earlier. Why?
No.
What's the matter with you?
Because I wouldn't date a man.
Times are changing.
I wouldn't date a man. Would I date a bisexual woman? Possibly, but not a man.
Well, this guy's written an article about would you date a bisexual man? And the overwhelming consensus by women is absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Some people declare themselves bisexual before completely coming out as gay, as if it were somehow more palatable and easy to accept if one is only half gay. This pales in comparison to the silent majority of true bisexuals who are genuinely attracted to both men and women. It would seem that if one is willing to admit an attraction to the same sex, then there's no reason why they would hold back and not fully embrace it. So they've got a sexologist here, Alfred Kinsey, discovered that all humans fall on a 7-point spectrum of sexuality, from exclusively hetero, like Jay, to exclusively homosexual.
No, I'm in the hetero part, like Jay.
Okay, I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, well,
Just
you didn't
let
say
him
my
tell
name.
the story, man.
Christ, E, well, you seem really defensive about something all of a sudden. I don't know. And then one's rating on the scale can change during the course of a lifetime, presumably meaning that sexuality can evolve over time. So if you're not getting it from a chick and finally you're just like, enough of this, I got to get it from somewhere, it's possible, E, that your taste could change.
It's not possible at all.
There's a 7-point scale, and this guy's a sexpert. So
Well,
It's possible you're in flux.
I'm
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not. So.
not according to this expert. He didn't name you specifically, but I'm reading between the lines. I see what he's getting at. A friend of mine, and this is not a friend of mine, but this is a friend of this guy's, is divorcing her husband after he realized his bisexuality in his early 30s. So it's common that, like, in the early 30s is where you would...
Right about 30.8,
Or-
7,
right,
642.
to 33, somewhere right in there. So, it could be... I don't know, whatever. And he began acting on his desires. He wasn't only interested in extramarital affairs with men, but women also. He wanted an open relationship to sleep with whomever he felt like. Understandably, no man or woman would want to be surprised with this revelation, but what about if you began dating a man who was upfront about his bisexuality? Would you dump him right away or see where it could go? Like, to me, that right there, like the whole point of being in a relationship, to act like I'm attracted to men and women, so you just have to accept that and let me bang whoever I want.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you're married to Gab does not mean that you're not capable of finding beauty in other women. It means you don't act on it because you're committed to Gab, right?
Because you're not an animal and you're not. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that seems simple. Like, okay.
Yeah, this just kind of like opens the door to this whole other thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is different.
Like, if you're going to be in a committed relationship, then just be in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Most women would never want to date a bisexual man. It would take a confident woman who was one who was not only sure of herself and her desirability, but also extremely open-minded about sexuality. Bisexuals are freelancers of sexuality. In this way, they might be more evolved than the rest of us.
I wonder if that dude would be okay with her going and banging other dudes.
Yeah, that's a
Probably
great
not.
point.
Yeah.
Probably
but
not.
if she were to say, well, I want to experiment with a woman, he would be. I mean, it's just, come on.
Well, they argue that
Playing games.
with women, bisexuality is fantasized about. Like, most men are like, she goes and bangs some other dude, and you're like, that's horrifying. What a bitch. But if she hooks up with a chick, you can see yourself in that scenario.
Right.
It's like, not the end of the world. What are you gonna do? Can I at least watch or something? And it's just not a deal breaker. So, but turn the tables and let's examine the state of the bisexual man. Women cannot accept that a man might enjoy getting banged by another man while also enjoying sleeping with women. It's as if they're tainted. Once a man has been with a man, a reputation follows him for life. A straight friend of mine, not mine again, this is the author's, surprised me by asking me to fuck him. He's always been with and talked about being with women. Like he's like always been with women, talks about being with women too. He said he wanted to feel what it was like to be penetrated, to feel what a woman would feel.
Oh, come on.
I know.
I kind of just want, I've always been interested in how.
As if okay, let's
Guess what?
give him the
You're not
benefit
going
of
to
the
feel
doubt.
what a woman would feel because you don't have a vagine.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy?
Even if we give them the benefit of the doubt that okay, that seems crazy, but whatever. Go get a dildo or sit on something. Like, you don't need a
throw your
dude behind
finger
you.
in there, man.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. A bisexual man could make, for a more compassionate lover, he's not only driven by primal urges of a man, yes he is, but has taken into balance both the masculine and feminine energies present within us all. Only a man who knows the feeling of being dominated can empathize with the sexual experience of a woman. This could deepen the connection between the two lovers.
Christ.
It's, people are just so overthinking shit. Again, just another example of this, Oh, gee, I have this strange urge. I have to, my whole life, busts open into this newfound thing. Come on. Stop fucking overthinking everything. You got a girl, stay with a girl. Bang the girl. Come on. Complicate. Everybody wants to complicate everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It does open up the dating circle. I mean, if you're trying to cast a broad net, we've talked about that before.
Broad netty.
I can't remember why we were talking about it before, but I mean, if you
in
are
what context in which we were talking, I don't remember.
I don't remember, but it seems like it'd be easier, right? If you went into a bar and just went, "Yep, I'll take them all," like anything's on the table at that point. That's the definition of casting a broad net.
Well, you guys could do that equally. You all could do that equally as well.
Well, we're in relationships.
But that doesn't mean maybe you're with Gab or with Beth, but you want to rail dudes too. I don't know.
Rail dudes. I'm just dying to rail dudes.
Maybe. You just said it. I don't know. I didn't say it.
Christ. What do we got for email, Jane? Anything good?
Yeah, let me see here.
Oh, and lastly, I forgot to mention this too. A Tinder girl sent out on Tinder a picture.
Oh.
Just fucked Edelman, no lie, and it's a picture of Edelman, the Patriots wide receiver, sleeping.
Yeah, when did it become cool for chicks to be total slut bags?
I don't know.
I'm not sure I like that.
But it's happening more and more. Here's Stephanie. I fucked Odell Beckham Jr. It's a picture of her and Odell. Yeah. Got half her face. Don't you think he's going to wake up and see that and be like, what the?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if... Is it Julian Edelman?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he married? I don't know if he's married or not.
You know the thing is, like, dude, this just goes... Not trying to get too deep into, like Jay always says over this, but this just goes when these girls, all this movement of, being equal. It's like, what a slut, dude. Like, it just shows you that all this girl cares about is, like, that's why every guy wants to be in a band or every guy wants to have $1 million, rich. Because this will happen. This chick just slept with this dude just because
he's him.
Because he's who he is.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and say girls are so deep. This bullshit that guys are like, guys are so, pigs and girls. Fuck you.
Yeah,
they're as shallow as anybody.
With
right?
Evan Reed, that girl too. She was just a star fucker, man.
Okay, let's see. I'm reading this off my phone because
your computer's not working.
Jeez, maybe Jay, you should stop dropping stuff.
Seriously. I'm reading this on my cracked phone. Russ dropped this, though.
Russ!
Yeah.
Right here, Dad.
Okay, from Todd. Dear Detroit Cast. On Wednesdays, on Wednesday's show, Todd. He's got great agility, speed, and quickness. Dear Detroit Cast, on Wednesday's show, you guys shared the strangest places you've had sex. Off the top of our heads, at least. Have you thought about that more? I threw the one out there going 90 down Southfield Freeway.
Playboy Mansion?
Yeah, I think you talked about that before.
I think going down
Isn't that the Playboy Mansion? Isn't that where you wanted that picture from?
Shut up, you asshole.
Oh, yeah, Pam.
Yeah, you really wanted that.
I didn't. I was coerced into
it.
it.
Asked it? Who asked her for the picture? Did someone else? Or did you?
That's one of your great regrets, isn't it, Mike?
It's one of the biggest regrets I've ever had in my life.
It was such an unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah.
And the fact that you disclosed it.
I know.
Pam, would you mind taking a picture? Yeah, no. Okay, cool. I didn't want a picture with you. I don't even think you're pretty. How about that? I don't. She asked me to take a picture with you. I couldn't give a shit less.
Okay, so Playboy Mansion.
God damn it.
Add that to Mike's list.
And I think going down the freeway is...
It's kind of a strange circumstance, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and I don't mean pulling over on the side of the freeway. I mean like you do, like going 90 down the freeway.
Yeah. Trying to just glance over her shoulders.
Glancing over shoulders. Not a beeger.
Right.
Congress.
Yeah. Okay. On Wednesday's show, you guys shared the strangest place you've had sex, so I thought I'd share mine as well. In 2010, I was overseas on a work trip. I went to a pub that only had about 5 other patrons in it beside myself. 4 of them were sitting at the opposite end of the bar, and one 20-something-year-old kid was by himself, passed out in a booth directly behind me. I got into a conversation with a waitress who worked at the pub. This, however, was her day off. After I bought her a few drinks, she offered me a blowjob while sitting at the bar. She told me to move to the very corner of the bar, but I was still in view of the other patrons there, including the bartender. Please keep in mind, this BJ did not cost me a dime other than the 15 or so bucks I paid buying her drinks. She told me not to finish in her mouth, which I politely gave her a tap when I was ready. After I finished, she excused herself to the bathroom for a minute, which gave me the perfect window of time to get the hell out of that pub with what little dignity I had left. I never got her number. I don't remember her name, and I've never been back to the pub, even though I still visit that country for work once or twice a year.
Wow.
Later, dudes.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. What just got printed for me here?
Those are a couple that you had flagged in the mailbox.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different mailbox. So, Dave writes in, the King, Mike, and E. Okay, I first want to say that I'm not a tie fan. I like ties and all, but to wear them, I'd rather do without. Ponder this for a second, though. Do you think society was more well-behaved back in the, let's say, 1950s, when all men wore suits, ties, and walked around in fedoras with overcoats and seemed to dress for success?
No.
Or has society dressed like they do, with sweatpants that are several days old, or the sagging pants around the bottom of their asses, or wife beaters with gold teeth, etc.? I think our society might be a little better off if we did dress for success. Probably won't get read and or acknowledged. The reason I asked this was looking at this video of Wrigley Field from 1938 made me think that our prior generations had it all right all along. Just a thought. Thanks for your time.
Dude, what do you think about that, Jay? Really?
I think people were assholes even back then.
Dude, what about back?
They were just more uncomfortable, wearing big wool suits and hats and shit.
Yeah. They sat there back then with the freaking 3 martini lunches and nailing their secretaries and
which is awesome,
beating their wives at home. You know what I mean?
It happens. What are you gonna do?
I'm just saying. I don't.
Had a rough day.
Everyone sits there always like, oh, these kids are going to hell. The planet's going.
That was the American dream. You're stomping on the American dream. Go to work, have a liquid lunch, come home and take out all your aggressions on the wife. I mean, that's the American dream.
I'm all about
You're
it,
shitting
dude.
all over the American
No.
dream, you son of a bitch. You unpatriotic son of a
No,
bitch.
I'm all about it. But it's like when people look back and say like, the good old days of when people treated women. Give me a break. Go into the office and slap your secretary in the ass and be like, no, give me a martini.
I know, yeah, the good old days.
I agree. Again, I agree. But don't tell me that it was better now than it was. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I just think they were more uncomfortable then. So I think they change it, get rid of the ties.
The good old days when date rape was just called dating.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we all miss those days, don't we? Huh?
God, born in the wrong generation, I wish.
That's right.
Anthony writes in, hey guys, and the dude whose period is coming. Oh, it's here. It's here.
It is?
I took a little precaution with my mail today. I got my Kickstarter reward shirt today. Okay, so here's one.
All right.
Seeing as how I donated for an autographed shirt long before it was revealed that Big E jerks off 5 times a day and doesn't wash up after, I thought it might be wise to suit up in my hazmat gear to open said package. I don't want to take a chance the day Fucknuts signed my shirt was the day he got spludge on his hands first.
I did not that day.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Keep up the great work. Wash your hands and lick a noose. And Anthony provided some pictures.
Pictures?
Oh, you got them there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pictures of
himself in the hazmat. Yeah, there we go. He's actually in a hazmat suit. It looks like there's some crazy painter gear or something with the full,
He's in a hazmat suit.
Well, that was all for naught, Anthony, because I had not done said events earlier that day.
He's got tongs.
Yeah, he has salad tongs.
And he's throwing the shirt right directly into the washing machine. So that was not one of the signed ones, I take it. That's hilarious.
He signed all the shirts.
Well, no, but people might have bought shirts that weren't signed. Right?
Yeah, some people, we asked if they wanted them signed or not because most people don't want to wear it.
He donated for an autographed T-shirt, he says. So it is signed. So he's washed off our autographs.
Oh, that is an autograph maybe at the top.
You're right. They're definitely all up there.
Yeah.
You got E's.
Wow. And he's washing them off.
You got E's like what did we say? It looks like Japanese or some shit. Like,
yeah.
Some Japanese figure.
My signature, Jack.
That's hilarious.
Okay, let's see what we have here. I'm kind of sorry, my email's fucked, so
it's all right. We'll wait.
Take your time. All right.
Josh writes in, I saw this today and had a what the fuck moment. My nephew is turning 7, so I'm shopping for games, found a great one. As I read said games, little stickers and paraphernalia tagged all over the box, I come across this gem, quote, approved for children with special needs, end quote. You know how they have, like, for 8 and up or for 12 and up?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I guess the standardized age guideline is 8 years plus, retards. Hope my sister doesn't think I'm calling an inner boy a tard. I guess we'll see. Josh, you see that little tag at the bottom? I think it's the one at the bottom.
Bottom left, right?
What is that? Core Nerd? A challenging game of pattern something. Pattern perception.
It's to the bottom left.
Yeah, and Discovery. It looks like.
And Discovery.
I'm going to say age ED, AD 8 plus. 1 to
Don't
6
see
players.
it, Josh. Go up top.
Maybe it's on the right side.
I thought it was up on the top where it had that this is what I figured it was, where it has the little like puzzle piece, just because that's like the autism symbol, I thought, or something.
Yeah, Autism Speaks, Able Play.
Proud supporter of autism.
Able Play rated.
Oh well.
Yeah, I had no idea they're
What would
rated that way.
What would make
anymore.
it autism okay?
Well, no, you know what? They're just a proud sponsor of Autism Speaks. That just means that this.
Oh, they're big
It says,
supporters of autism,
quote,
are they?
approved for children with special needs. So, to your question, what makes it that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you feel about the age things on games? Do you feel that they're properly aged?
I've never really thought about that. I just,
Yeah.
I mean, are you asking me if I consult that before I play a game, like say with the Sweet Pie?
Yeah. Is it something where if it says 8 and up and she's 6, you go, I guess it's not time. This could be really inappropriate for a 6-year-old.
It's not inappropriate. It's just it won't hold their interest. It's too hard. It's too complicated.
Really?
Yeah. So there are definitely ones where we go, no. Let's play that some other time. Let's play this one instead.
Yeah.
Candyland or something.
The autism one.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, man, they're making them for E now. That's good.
This is a different world we're growing up in.
Hey.
We had lawn jarts. We threw
Oh my
spears at
God.
each other.
Yeah, no shit.
When we were kids, we chucked
We
spears
threw
at
apples
each other.
at each other. You guys ever have an apple tree just with
course,
those,
crab apple fights.
perfect
Well,
size?
rocks.
Man, get garbage can lids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good
Awesome.
stuff. All right, let's save the rest because my email's fucked up.
Okay. All right. Well, let's we can call it there. Continue hitting the message board, everybody. That's been fun. And continue sharing the posts. I saw some people shared it today on Facebook, which is always great, doing a little write-up and sharing it. That really is helping a lot. So with that, we'll call it a day for a Thursday. I think tomorrow we hopefully have it set up to talk to that guy, the preacher, with the semen
He's
in the
convinced
coffee.
that Starbucks puts semen in the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get
Among
to
other
we'll
things.
get to the bottom of that.
I think we're going to talk to him tomorrow. So something to look forward to. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Pastor James David Manning. I believe we've got a scheduled phoner with him. So we'll hopefully do that tomorrow.
We'll ask all the pertinent questions
Yeah.
that you all out there would want to ask. Don't worry.
Absolutely. We'll get to the bottom of it. So we'll see you tomorrow for an all-new Friday edition of the Detroit Cast.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to that watch.